What if I told you there was an NHL rookie so unstoppable that he didn't just break scoring records, he obliterated them? A player who, despite being labeled too old and too soft to make an impact in North America, showed up and lit the lamp 76 times in his very first NHL season. That's right, that's not a typo. 76 goals and 132 points. Numbers that even the league's biggest superstars dream about were piled up by a quiet Finn who once worked as a kindergarten teacher. So how did a relatively under-the-radar 22-year-old become the NHL's most prolific rookie ever? What got him ready to humiliate seasoned goalies, outrun Hall of Famers, and captivate an entire country? To understand the legend of Teemu Selänne, the NHL rookie who physically couldn't stop scoring, we have to rewind to where it all began, Helsinki, Finland, in the early 1970s. Teemu Ilmari Selänne was born on July 3, 1970 in Helsinki, Finland. He grew up alongside his twin brother Paavo and another brother Panu in a family that moved between the coastal towns of Rauma and Espoo. Like many Finnish kids, Teemu spent his winters on the ice, but he didn't confine himself to hockey. In fact, he was more of a three-sport athlete, playing bandy, a hybrid of hockey and soccer played on ice, soccer itself, and hockey. He credits his multi-sport background for developing his coordination and vision, traits that later allowed him to outthink D-men on a different level. Despite growing up in a hockey-crazy country, young Teemu wasn't a prodigy. He was small for his age, often getting pushed around by bigger kids. That lack of size, however, sparked a competitive fire. Being small made me work harder, he later recalled. It forced him to develop spot-on timing and silky mitts, rather than relying on pure strength. His dedication paid off when he joined the Jokerit Junior program in Helsinki, one of the country's top development clubs. But before that, life outside the rink was unusually grounded for a future superstar. After finishing high school, Selänne spent 2 years in business school and completed a mandatory year with the Finnish Defense Forces. During this time, he needed a job that fit around his training schedule, so he took a position as a kindergarten teacher in Helsinki. For 3 years, Mr. Selänne looked after toddlers during the day and potted goals at night. These experiences, teaching little ones, even helping out at children's hospitals, eventually led him to co-found the Godfathers Foundation, which raises money for sick kids. It's a side of Selänne few hockey fans know, the soft-spoken kindergarten teacher who would soon become the league's most feared scorer. Selänne's junior career blossomed in Jokerit's development program. In 1987-88, he put up 43 goals and 66 points in just 33 games, leading Jokerit's junior team to the Finnish Junior A Championship. The Winnipeg Jets took notice of that run and selected him 10th overall in the 1988 NHL entry draft. But rather than rushing to North America, Selänne decided to stay home. He wanted to fulfill, as we mentioned, Finland's mandatory military service and continue honing his skills in the SM Liiga, Finland's top league. His decision paid off. Jokerit had been relegated to the second division and were in financial trouble when he joined the senior team in 1988-89. Selänne responded with 69 points in 35 games, helping the club earn promotion back to the SM Liiga. Over the next 3 seasons, he exploded. 33 goals and 58 points in 1990-91. A league-leading 39 goals and 62 points in 91-92. Totals that earned him the Raimo Kilpio Trophy for gentlemanly play and the Arni Honkavara Trophy as the league's top goal scorer. Jokerit won the Kanada Malja, the Finnish championship, in 1991-92 after Selänne scored the championship-winning goal. Selänne even made an appearance at the 1992 Winter Olympics, scoring a pair of goals for Finland at only 21 years old. When the Jets tried to lure him to Winnipeg for the 92-93 season, he was on the fence. Finland was in the middle of a deep recession. Unemployment had quadrupled. Jokerit had just captured the hearts of the nation, and Selänne was more famous in Helsinki than many politicians. Ultimately, though, he knew the NHL represented the pinnacle of hockey. We can never replace Teemu as a person, Jokerit's owner told reporters, but we'll have to try to replace him as a player. With Finland cheering him on, the 22-year-old packed his bags for North America. When Selänne arrived in Winnipeg in the fall of 1992, expectations were a bit lower than you'd think. Though the Jets had drafted him 4 years earlier, some critics wondered whether he was already too old to be a rookie. He'd also been playing against Finnish competition, not NHL defensemen. The Jets themselves almost lost him to Calgary when the Flames signed him to an offer sheet, forcing Winnipeg to match the contract just to keep him. None of that mattered once the puck dropped on October 6, 1992. In his debut, Selänne collected 2 assists as Winnipeg beat Detroit. 2 nights later, he scored his first NHL goal against San Jose goalie Jeff Hackett. By his 5th game, he had his first hat trick. What happened over the next 6 months defies belief. Selänne scored 11 goals in his first 12 games. He recorded 16 multi-goal games, 4 of which were hat tricks, and 1 a 4-goal performance. On March 2, 1993, he netted his 54th goal of the year against the Quebec Nordiques to surpass Mike Bossy's rookie record of 53. As the crowd at Winnipeg Arena roared, Selänne instinctively launched his glove skyward and mimed shooting it down with his stick, Selly that instantly became one of the most iconic in NHL history. 3 weeks later, he recorded his 110th point against Toronto to break Peter Stastny's rookie points record. By season's end, he had 76 goals and 132 points in 84 games, totals that not only smashed rookie records, but tied him with Alexander McGillney for the league lead in goals, another outrageous run. To put those numbers into context, only 7 players in NHL history have ever scored more than 70 goals in a season, and none of them were rookies. Selänne reached that plateau while adjusting to a new country, a new league, and playing on a mid-tier Jets team. He also racked up, as we mentioned, 4 hat tricks, a feat unmatched by any other rookie. Not bad for a 22-year-old who'd once been dismissed as too soft for the NHL. His scoring binge single-handedly lifted the Jets into the 1993 Stanley Cup playoffs, though the team fell to Vancouver in the first round. But the Calder Trophy voting was a no-brainer. Selänne was named the league's top rookie and selected to the first All-Star team. He was 22 years old and full of energy, but nobody, not even he, could have imagined what was going to happen that year. He didn't just adjust to the NHL, he redefined what a rookie could be. From his very first game, Selänne was electric. His stride, his shot, his enthusiasm, everything about him screamed that something special was happening. He spoke broken English, but it didn't matter. His game was universal. Winnipeg fans immediately fell in love with him. The wide smile, the playful celebrations, the sense that he was having more fun than anyone else on the ice. His teammates fed off that joy. Thomas Steen once said that Teemu made us all younger. If Selänne's rookie campaign was a dream, his second season offered a painful dose of reality. Early in 1993-94, he continued scoring at an absurd pace. But on January 26, 1994, disaster struck. During a game against the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, Selänne was tangled up along the boards when his Achilles tendon was accidentally sliced by an opponent's skate blade. The injury was pretty damn intense. His tendon was reportedly 75% severed and required surgery that ended his season after just 51 games. Without their star rookie, the Jets missed the playoffs entirely. For a moment, it looked like the Finnish Flash might be a one-season wonder. Achilles injuries can derail careers. Just ask other athletes who never regained their explosiveness. Selänne, however, attacked rehab with the same determination that had pushed him through Finnish recruiting. He spent the 1994-95 lockout playing for Jokerit again, scoring 7 goals and 12 assists in 20 games and winning the 1995 European Cup with his hometown club. By the time the NHL returned in January 1995, Selänne was healthy, but the Jets were struggling. Ownership was cash-strapped, and rumors swirled that the team might relocate. During the 1995-96 season, despite leading Winnipeg with 72 points, Selänne was suddenly traded to the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim on February 7, 1996. He was devastated. That shock made him realize the business side of professional hockey. The Jets shipped him away for prospects and draft picks, hoping to save money. Winnipeg fans were outraged. Finland was heartbroken. Yet this trade ended up being one of the best things that ever happened to his career. Selänne arrived in Anaheim to find another young superstar waiting, Paul Kariya, the 4th overall pick of 1993. The two met at the 1996 All-Star Game and quickly discovered that their playing styles meshed perfectly. Kariya was a cerebral playmaker with blazing speed. Selänne was a pure goal scorer who loved to fly down the wing. Together, they formed one of the most electrifying duos of the late 1990s. Fans across the league loved them. Kids collected their trading cards in pairs. EA Sports featured them like crazy in early NHL games. Even opposing players admitted they were mesmerizing to watch. Steve Yzerman once said, "When those two were flying, you just tried not to get embarrassed." Selänne and Kariya weren't just a hockey duo. They were a friendship that went beyond the game. They surfed together, golfed together, and spoke daily even after they played for different teams. Their bond became a symbol of what makes all of us love hockey. But before the breakup came Selänne's first partial season with Anaheim. Selänne racked up 16 goals and 36 points in 28 games. The following year, he registered 109 points and scored 51 goals. leading the young Mighty Ducks to their first playoff appearance in 1996-97. Despite critics labeling Anaheim a one-line team, Selänne and Kariya led the upset of the Phoenix Coyotes in round one before falling to Detroit, who went on to win the Cup. In 1997-98, Selänne scored 52 goals, again putting him over a point-per-game average. His high-speed offense earned him the inaugural Maurice Rocket Richard Trophy in 1998-99 as the NHL's top scorer with 47 goals. During this stretch, Selänne also made history at the All-Star Game. In 1998, he became the first European player to be named All-Star Game MVP after recording a hat trick. He also reached the 500-point plateau and cemented his status as Anaheim's first, or maybe second, true superstar. Again, off the ice, Selänne and Kariya developed a close friendship. Commercials, highlight reels, and early NHL video games made them household names. Yet success didn't dull Selänne's hunger for speed, literally. He began racing rally cars under the nickname Tukasalama, Teddy Flash, to hide his identity, entering events such as the 1995 Paula-Pika Rally and the 1998 Rally Finland. The NHL wasn't thrilled about his dangerous hobby, but Selänne's need for speed couldn't be contained. He finished 24th overall at Rally Finland in 1998 and kept racing until a testing crash and a resulting fine in 1999 convinced him to stick to hockey. As the new millennium approached, Anaheim couldn't sustain its early success. In March 2001, the Ducks traded Selänne to the San Jose Sharks for Jeff Friesen, Steve Shields, and a draft pick. Selänne's time in San Jose was productive. He posted 29 goals in 2001-02 and 28 goals in 02-03, but the Sharks' defensive system and coaching changes held back his creativity. When his contract expired, he opted to sign as a free agent with the Colorado Avalanche, reuniting with Kariya in hopes of winning a Stanley Cup. The experiment failed. A knee injury sapped his speed, and he managed only 16 goals in 2003-04. For a player known for outrunning defensemen, losing a step was devastating. The 2004-05 NHL lockout offered a lifeline. Selänne used the time to undergo knee surgery and a year of careful rehabilitation. He returned to Finland to play a handful of playoff games and trained relentlessly. When the NHL resumed in 2005-06, he signed a modest one-year contract to return to Anaheim, unsure whether he still had what it took. At age 35 and coming off his worst NHL season, many assumed the Finnish Flash was finished. What followed was one of the greatest comebacks in hockey history. With his knee fixed and his passion rekindled, Selänne scored 40 goals and 90 points in 05-06. The following season, he put up 48 goals and 94 points, leading Anaheim back to the playoffs. In the 2007 Stanley Cup Final, Selänne finally captured the one major trophy missing from his resume, as the Ducks defeated the Ottawa Senators to claim their first championship. At 36, he was an emotional leader, tears streaming down his face as he hoisted the cup. Teammates described the victory as redemption for a player who had given so much to the game. After the win, he briefly retired, only to return again in 07-08 and continue scoring at a 30-goal pace well into his 40s. He put up 27 goals in both the 08-09 and 2009-2010 seasons, 31 goals in 2010-11, and 26 goals in 2011-2012. While Selänne's NHL exploits are legendary, his international career is just as wild. He represented Finland in 5 World Championships, winning silver in 1999 and bronze in 2008. He played in 3 Canada World Cups and was named Tournament MVP in 1999. But it was on the Olympic stage that he truly became a national hero. Selänne competed in 7 Winter Olympics, 1992, 94, 98, 2002, 2006, 2010, and 2014, and helped Finland capture 3 bronze medals and a silver. His 43 points at the Olympics are the most in men's Olympic hockey history. At the age of 43, he was named Tournament MVP at the 2014 Sochi Games after leading Finland to bronze, becoming the oldest hockey Olympian to earn that honor. International tournaments often provided Selänne with a platform to inspire Finland's next generation. Young Finnish players grew up watching him duel against legends like Jaromir Jagr, Wayne Gretzky, and Mario Lemieux. His breakout NHL season boosted hockey's popularity in Finland, leading to record youth participation and a surge in national television ratings. For Finnish fans, every Olympic tournament became a referendum on Selänne's greatness. He delivered again and again, scoring clutch goals and representing Finland with humility. It's no exaggeration to say that he put Finnish hockey on the global map. One reason Selänne's story resonates is his authenticity away from the rink. Unlike many professional athletes, he never adopted a hardened persona. Friends and teammates described him as relentlessly positive with a childlike joy that never faded. That joy was forged in those early years as a kindergarten teacher and remains evident in his interactions with fans. Even during his record-breaking rookie year, he would sign hundreds of autographs after games regardless of how tired he was. Teemu always had time, teammate Owen Nolan once said. He was the same guy whether he scored 70 goals or 7. The kindergarten years also hinted at Selänne's lifelong commitment to children. In addition to the Godfathers Foundation, he has donated millions to youth sports programs and hospitals in Finland and California. When he retired from the NHL in 2014, he didn't vanish. He opened the Selänne Steak Tavern in Laguna Beach, a restaurant that quickly became a local favorite. He coached his son's youth teams and occasionally took part in charity golf tournaments. His love of speed manifested in more than just hockey. He continued to participate in rally events and even performed a stunt jump over exploding cars for a TV show years after retiring. But as we touched on earlier, Selänne's off-ice pursuits sometimes led to controversy. When he got fined in 1999 after a testing accident during a rally practice, the Ducks had to ban him from motorsport while under contract. He also faced legal troubles in 2006 when he was charged with endangering public safety after a traffic collision, though the charges were later dropped. These incidents humanized the Finnish Flash, a superstar whose zest for life occasionally got him into trouble. Teemu Selänne retired in 2014, ranked 11th all-time in NHL goals, 684, and 15th in points, 1,457. He holds nearly every significant scoring record for the Winnipeg Phoenix franchise and the Anaheim Ducks. His 76-goal rookie season and 132 points remain untouched more than 3 decades later, despite the league expanding and offense increasing. Even generational scorers like Alex Ovechkin and Austin Matthews didn't come close to his freshman totals. But Selänne's impact goes beyond numbers. He bridged the gap between the first wave of European stars like Jari Kurri and the current crop of Finnish superstars such as Mikko Rantanen and Patrik Laine. He showed NHL teams that Europeans could not only compete but dominate. He inspired a generation of Finnish kids to pick up sticks, and he brought a sense of fun back to goal celebrations. Without his 1992-93 explosion, there may never have been a Finnish Flash effect on the NHL. In 2015, the Anaheim Ducks retired his number 8 jersey, the first such honor in franchise history. 2 years later, he was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame as the first Finnish forward to receive the honor. The International Ice Hockey Federation inducted him into their Hall of Fame in 2017 as well. He was named one of the NHL's 100 greatest players during the league's centennial season. On the international stage, he remains the Olympic tournament's all-time scoring leader and a 5-time Finnish Player of the Year. Perhaps more importantly, Selänne's humility and joy haven't gone anywhere. In a 2017 interview, he admitted he could never have imagined making the Hall of Fame when he first came to Winnipeg. "I could never dream of that until people started asking me about it," he said. Even after 2 decades of dominance, he saw his career as a gift rather than entitlement. That attitude has endeared him to fans worldwide and cemented his legend. What separated Selänne from other goal scorers? Beyond his incredible shot, he had a deceptive burst. Teammates said his first 3 strides were as explosive as any sprinters. This allowed him to blow past D-men even when they seemed to have good gaps. He also had a knack for changing the angle of his shot at the last second, freezing goaltenders. It's tough to measure things like that, but they're the reason why goalies often look helpless against him. Another overlooked factor in his rookie season was the context. Selänne didn't just score on weak teams, he recorded multi-goal games against Hall of Fame goalies like Patrick Roy and Ed Belfour. And his 76 goals came despite limited power play time relative to today's superstars. Had he played in the modern, offense-heavy NHL with more power plays and open ice, his totals might have been even higher. One of the craziest stats about Selänne's rookie year, he scored 21.1% of the Jets' 360 goals that season, meaning more than 1 in 5 Winnipeg goals were scored by a single rookie. Another wild angle, after scoring his 54th goal to pass Bossy's record, Selänne recorded 22 more goals in his final 22 games. He didn't slow down after breaking the record, he sped up. And while his glove shooting celebration is famous, fewer people know that he first performed it a year earlier in Finland after scoring the championship-winning goal for Kariya. Selänne's rally racing alias, Tukka Salama, deserves its own folklore. Again, translating roughly to Teddy Lightning, it allowed him to race without alerting the NHL or journalists. He finished 33rd overall in his first full rally at the 1995 Thousand Lakes Rally and improved to 24th in 1998. Afterwards, Selänne was fined and forced to choose between racing and hockey. Naturally, he chose hockey, but the need for speed never left him. Even his Achilles injury has an untold twist. When Selänne ruptured his tendon in 1994, he took advantage of the downtime by enrolling in art classes and exploring photography. He later used those skills to help design the interior of his steakhouse in Laguna Beach. He also flew back to Finland and publicly advocated for children's sports funding while he couldn't play. In that way, his injury indirectly expanded his interests and philanthropic work. Finally, while we remember the Finnish Flash for his scoring, he was quietly one of the game's most gentlemanly players. He won the Bill Masterton Trophy in 2005-2006 for perseverance and sportsmanship, and was a finalist multiple times for the Lady Byng. He rarely fought, never really stirred the pot, and was respected by refs. One official once said, "If Teemu ever complained, we listened," because he was usually right. That respect earned him extra space on the ice, another invisible advantage. Teemu Selänne's story is the kind you usually only see in the movies. A shy kindergarten teacher who defies the odds to become the most prolific rookie in NHL history, only to suffer a devastating injury, reinvent himself in a new city, and finally capture hockey's ultimate prize. Along the way, he remains humble, spends his summers racing rally cars, opens a steakhouse, and lifts his country on the international stage. Through it all, he never loses the joy that made him throw his glove into the air after goal number 54. In the end, Selänne didn't just break records. He redefined what was possible for a first-year player. His 76-goal outburst remains an Everest that no rookie has come close to scaling, and his longevity, sportsmanship, and charisma turned him from a scoring phenom into a cultural icon. Even now, decades later, we still ask, how on earth did he do it? Maybe the answer lies not in his stick or his skates, but in the childlike wonder he carried from kindergarten classes to NHL arenas. And that is why Teemu Selänne will forever be remembered as the NHL rookie who physically couldn't stop scoring. Thanks for watching. If you want to hear the story of a 16-year-old prodigy who walked into an NHL camp full of vets and completely took over, check out our video on Sidney Crosby, when a 16-year-old got invited to an NHL camp and took over. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your favorite Teemu Selänne moment in the comments. See you in the next one.